lot of times people with trauma backgrounds will say, I can't sleep at all. Staying up, restlessness, actually fear of falling asleep. Rapid changes in mood. Could be fine 1 minute and then you realize, oh, okay, what happened? You were okay 2 minutes ago, you're not feeling the same way now, either a lot of depression or a lot of mania. High levels of anxiety, goes without saying. Trouble staying in the moment. So this is a hard one because when you've had something traumatic happen, it makes sense that we're having a hard time staying in the present. But what I mean by this is there's a way that you can't actually be in any moment. So things start to feel very fragmented in your mind. Like you can't put together a coherent timeline of what's happening because you're not fully present. That's a little different from just feeling overwhelmed. Hypervigilance, which is when we are hyper attuned to everything. So good example of this particularly with COVID, I've been talking with a lot of folks. Every time the phone rings, they say their heart skips a beat. They're worried it's going to be someone calling to say something bad has happened, or someone's has tested positive, or that it's sort of like small signals are always a reminder of something that is terrible and awful that's about to happen, or so we're scanning our environment for that. That's hypervigilance. And then lastly, somatic symptoms, the classic, backaches, headaches, not able to move, a lot of body pain. When you have intense trauma, you're actually looking at a lot of body pain. At the group level, what trauma looks like is it actually triggers our previous traumas. So something new happens. This is not a great example, but I was actually thinking a lot about for those of you who remember the tsunami warnings in Chennai, right? This was many, many years ago. There was a sort of that was a collective trauma, right? It was, you were waiting, you didn't know, you knew you couldn't control it. It's beyond human force to actually control something like that. But it brought up a lot of anxiety. COVID is sort of similar, right? So now we're in another experience of pandemic as a trauma, and it kind of triggers those memories, maybe not consciously, and then you could go back in history and see there have been several historical events that have been traumas that actually triggers other trauma reactions for us.